From the tree they climbed to examine your group's surroundings, the ranger points ahead to what looks like an open clearing. They hop down from the branches above and start leading the way forward, and the herbologist you are escorting falls in close behind them. After a few hundred paces, the clearing starts to open up before you, and the herbologist stops so suddenly in her tracks that you nearly run into her. The look of pure terror in her eyes is enough to convince you to retreat. But as a faint yet appealing scent reaches you, the only thing you can do is move toward its source. The large yellow and purple flowers that seem to be covering everything in sight. As you push aside some low-hanging branches, unable to halt your approach, you stumble over uneven ground. Unfortunately, one glance at what tripped you reveals a human hand reaching toward you, and half-decomposed bodies, each sprouting the same flowers that cover the clearing, stagger in your direction.
You always thought that transitions into the Feywild were supposed to be beautiful. Circles of mushrooms, natural arcs of trees, a path of bright flowers. But crawling through tight dirt tunnels under the roots of trees that must be millennia old was not something you expected to do. The worst part of it was that sometimes, echoing throughout the area for what seemed like no reason at all, there would be sudden, loud shrieks, as though someone were in intense pain. And it would continue for several minutes as your group traveled through the area. After the second time this happened, the wizard of your group determined that specific fungus was the source. So whenever your party notices patches of it, you dispatched it before you get too close. But every once in a while you missed one, and all you could do was hope that nothing dangerous was following the shrieks to your location.
Episode of Dungeon Diving. It has been a very, 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 very long time. Life.
Liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
It happens.
And death.
Yes. Anyway, on today's wonderful episode, we are talking about plants. So get your green thumbs and your D&D books. And welcome our special guest, Christian Brooks. Yay!
Yay!
Hey, thanks for having me on here, Erica, Grace. I appreciate it.
Hi, Mom. I'm on a podcast.
For those of you who are not on our Facebook page, first of all, you should find us. But second of all, Brooks has been posting a lot of really wonderful memes because he has quality content and is hilarious.
Sure to make you laugh out loud.
Y'all flatter me too much. But we also got to give props to Erica's memery. The one of our cat and dog. You've just really knocked it out of the park with that one.
It's because we paid for it to be boosted, but thank you.
Sponsored
by us.
But Brooks, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Experience, favorite character type to play?
Yeah. Well, I've been playing tabletop for the good amount of about 3 years now. I started off because I had to move to some place and I didn't know how to make friends, and somebody introduced me to this LARP.
LARPing. You started with LARPing?
I didn't know like
what
the
nerd.
I didn't know the nerd hierarchy. I didn't know it was like LARP being like farthest nerdom. I just thought, okay,
but you started out with probably one of the most fun forms of like tabletop. Yeah, nerdery.
Nerdery. Yeah, it was vampire. It was this local scene.
Oh, cool.
So some people who just gathered around was like, hey, everybody want to play vampire? Super cool. It was so much fun. My favorite character I played was a Brujah who was a social Brujah. So basically I
okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. But my favorite type that's a story for another day. But my favorite type of character I play are always barbarians. I love playing.
Oh, you're one of those.
I like because I don't like to play the super dumb barbarian, but I do like to play like the whole barbarian.
Cocaine addict barbarian.
Yes, the barbarian that's struggling with something. Like, it's the reason
There's
that
some
they're...
kind of internal struggle that makes them so angry.
Exactly. There's a reason for the rage. It's not just...
So you just like to play an Aries.
I hate it.
Well, that's awesome. Is there like a specific race that you...
Dragonborn, almost exclusively.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sometimes dive into...
Dive.
Hey! Check us out on Facebook. I also like to dive into playing halflings as well.
Oh, halfling. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Halfling barbarian.
It's
It's always been a class that I wanted to play.
I've never seen that done before, and I would love to see it done.
Now, can they like wield great axes? They can't, right? Because they're too small. But a regular axe would be a great axe to them, right?
Two-hand...
I don't
How
know.
does that work? Can you use an axe as a two-handed axe and then add like great axe damage?
There's magic. I'm willing to just let it happen, personally.
Or would you let a halfling have a great axe?
Let a halfling have a great I just like the idea of them carrying something twice the size
They
of
like
their
lug
body.
it around behind them.
This little halfling just... Like, you have all these parties of talls, and this halfling just dragging their battle axe.
Get Giant Slayer too, so that you could just have like a really hard hitting. It'd be so good. Anyway, moving on.
So this week we're going to be talking about plant monsters.
Woo!
Because, we promised to do that a while ago.
Long time ago.
And then there was a holiday. And then Grace started dying.
Yeah.
So now we're back.
Yes. So for those who don't know, I had either like pneumonia or bronchitis, and then I went to Japan right after. So I'm pretty tapped out on energy, but I'm still here. I'm here to make commentary, but for today, Brooks and Erica are going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm the halfling, they're the great axe. Or the other way around. I'm the great axe, they're the halfling.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But so one of the first ones that we're going to be talking about today is all of the awakened things. Because that's kind of the basic plant monster. And,
But Erica, what's an awakened plant monster?
basically, it's a thing that was a plant, and then some wizard or whatever decided to awaken it and basically grant it sentience and some amount of mobility. And so you can have shrubs or trees or pretty much whatever you want.
What if a wizard awakened a bunch of kale to take vengeance on vegans?
That would be fantastic.
It's possible, right?
I had a friend
Okay.
who played a Beastmaster Ranger
Uh-huh.
who was vegetarian.
Okay.
Not because they loved animals, but because they hated plants. Because their parents were murdered by plant monsters.
That's amazing.
That is such a good
I did
flip.
not think about that.
That is such
so
a good flip on the switch there.
Yep.
That's actually so good.
I'm eating plants not to preserve life, but to destroy life.
to destroy a specific kind of life.
Wow. That's really smart.
It was great. That was such a good character. They had a little goat that was their
and it ate a bunch of grass. That's amazing.
But anyways, awakened plants are your sort of typical, plant monsters. They are generally unaligned, so you can use them kind of however.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
Or true neutral.
Yeah. That's an option. I kind of like the idea of a wizard that thinks they're a druid and they awaken a bunch of plants to have as minions because they're like one with the forest.
Okay.
I just think it would be funny.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like a druid, but like a Boy Scout type of like they're like
Oh, that's wholesome.
sorry, but they're trying to earn their nature badge or something, but like that's why they're a druid. They're just
too good at the nature badge.
they're a little too good at that one badge.
Exactly. That's cute. That might have to be a next character that I play. Actually, the next character I was going to play was going to be a necromancer who thought they were a doctor, and they're like, yeah, I heal corpses. And then everyone's like,
I'm super good at corpses. If you're alive, I'm so sorry. But if you're dead,
I got you. I
Bring you
got
back. You'll be a little weird, you know. You probably won't be able to talk anymore.
You won't have, function over your body because I get to control that. But
Yeah,
but
But you won't
Everything
need
else.
to eat. It'll be great.
oh yeah. No more Cadence diet or anything. You are solid.
no more plants.
No more plants.
Back to plants.
The topic of our show today.
Brooks, do you have another one you'd like to introduce us to?
Yes, I would. I have a couple, but I'm going to go with the one that I really, really love after looking them up. Woodwoads.
Woodwoads? But Brooks, what are woodwoads?
I'm glad you asked. Well, come here behind curtain number 2 where you can see your very own woodwoad.
Wow.
So
What is it?
I would love to know.
So
What
they're
does it look
basically
like?
Tell me more.
big berserker tree guys. They look like men. They use like a stomp. They use like a stomp as like a shield.
Oh.
And they always carry like a log as like kind of like a club.
So they're like Groot? But like barbarian Groot?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
The thing about them is, and when I was looking up the lore of them, because I was like, oh, this is actually a really cool looking monster. They're lawful neutral. So what I really liked about them is like the play mechanics you can have with them is that you can have them set up as like sentry guards or just like a true like enforcer in a forest, kind of like your like your actual city cops in like a Feywild or something.
City cops. Brooklyn Nine-Nine with fucking Woodward.
Hey, watch your language.
Freaking.
Watch your profanity.
Thank you, Mom.
Peggy 18.
So anyways, are they... Do they just exist, or is there like a way to create them, or...
Yes, there actually is a way to create them. So basically they're awakened by Fey magic. So they're created with the ritual by removing the heart of a living person.
Whoa. That's actually kind of cool.
I like that.
So I just imagine like the background, just like some weird wizard just be like Mortal Kombat style snatching the hearts out of people.
Like Indiana Jones, just
Kalima Akte, and just shoving them into trees. So like, So picture this: you're and your party walking through the woods, and you see this wizard just shoving something in a tree. You don't know what it is. You decide to ask, and he's like, "Oh no, just a still beating heart, just making some woodwoads."
Okay. Have a good day, sir.
Goodbye now.
Okay, but hear me out.
Terrifying.
A masked vigilante in a big city who murders people, bad people. It takes their hearts, and it's like, wait, what the heck am I supposed to do with all these hearts? And he's just like, well, I'm gonna just put them next to some trees, and then the trees absorb the hearts, and then they become woodrows.
I'm really curious about this guy's psychology. Why did he do this?
Because he didn't know where else to put the hearts.
He just sets them on the ground next to the tree.
Or what if like
maybe they'll decompose naturally. You just don't know.
Or like a Dungeons and Dragons UPS driver like accidentally loses like a box of hearts.
Oh no!
And they just stumble
yes,
upon the woods.
Yes. That's a good one. I think I had another one that was really good, but I lost it.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I'm sorry that you lost.
No,
your
I
brain
remember
bits.
it.
Oh, do you want to talk about it?
Yes.
Okay.
With the power of love, trees grow their own
God,
hearts.
I hate it. Get out.
Brooks, thank you.
This isn't Interstellar.
It's very like I very much like the idea because it goes aligns with my Boy Scout.
Just a wholesome campaign for a wholesome character.
Love it. But the woodwoads kind of remind me of the myth of a golem. Woodwoad.
Woodwoad.
Like if you were trying to say road, but you're a small child and you can't pronounce your R's, so it's
or Elmer
Woodwoad.
Woodwoad.
Or Elmer Fudd.
He can't say. He can only say W's.
Well, let's move on to what you were saying.
Oh yeah. So
Woodwoad.
they kind of remind me of like golems from the sort of original mythology behind them. That's like the Jewish mythos of it, where they were like a guardian.
Oh.
You would form them out of clay, and then
Oh.
like give them a thing that they had to do, and so they'd be neutral, but they'd always be protecting like a particular location or a relic or something.
Yeah, so like I think there were a lot of that kind of monster from the desert episode that we did.
Yeah,
where they were made just to protect something.
Mm-hmm.
What if they were made to protect a kid? The little druid boy.
What is it, the Terminator?
Yes.
All right, so Terminator campaign.
But trees.
I will literally draw it up on my tablet right now. Just an entire campaign of a little Boy Scout.
That's so cute.
That's adorable.
It's so cute. He gets into trouble, and then a bunch of woodwoads come out, and they're like, "Ooh, don't mess with my kid."
Don't talk to me or my son or my son's son. My son's son.
Exactly.
Well, another thing that we have that we're going to talk about is a myconid, which is...
I love myconid.
So
They're so cute.
It's just a mushroom person. They can't talk, but they can communicate telepathically once they have released their spores.
Like Toad?
towards you. Yeah, I
Yes.
guess Toad would be
It
a
is
myconid.
Toad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Except Toad can talk.
I don't know.
Myconids cannot.
Yes, myconids cannot talk. But they're cool. They're not super tough or anything.
They're really colorful.
They're very brightly colored.
Also, you know what? You could actually do a lot with them because there's so many different kinds of mushrooms out there that you can just base them off of.
Mhm.
Like, you could base them off of, like, a shiitake mushroom.
Oh, delicious.
Do not-
taste it.
Do not eat a myconid.
But, like, if
We're
it's a
not
shiitake
recommend-
flavor... So you're telling me I
So-
can't eat a shiitake-flavored myconid?
So here's my question.
There is some odd moral ground right there that I don't think we should touch on.
Just because something's sentient doesn't mean that you can't eat it.
But it's a myconid.
Yeah, they're adorable, but also great in soup.
I eat Mike and Ike's all the time.
I hate
Yes.
you.
Okay. And then there's the ones that grow out of the trees that are, like, really big and red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everyone knows what I mean.
Are those the gushy-looking berry ones?
No,
Mm-mm.
but they're the ones that look like shelves on a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
They're not always bright red. Sometimes they're like different colors.
Yeah,
They just make
but
like
the most popular ones are like red,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
And you could totally like have a myconid. I don't know, do something with that.
I can't stop thinking of Mike and Ike's when you say Mike and Ike, so...
I'm sorry.
all I'm thinking of is just these little box of Mike and Ike's
You can
running
have
around.
like a little. Oh! I know what you can do with them. You can have like a myconid, right? Now imagine like on our topic of little schoolboy druids. You can have like a little myconid druid boy, and then he's got like a little like myconid familiar, but it's like of like a
It's
one
like
of
a
those like
tiny-
it's like a tiny little one that looks like it has like little legs.
It's
and
like a myconid dog.
Yeah, like a myconid dog, but it's made of like the mushroom that's like flat. Yeah, it would be
I
really
am
cute.
taking notes right
I
now.
love this.
And then that myconid's special ability could be to dig because he can use his whole body as a shovel because he's flat.
See, I was also... man. That's so cool. That's so cool. It makes no sense how cool that is.
It's cute.
I also really like the idea, just like you said, there are so many different kinds of mushrooms. You can have myconids that have slightly different abilities. Like maybe one can make you hallucinate and have like a special do that.
You do not tamper my little druid school scout boy.
It's like peyote. They're not getting high.
Yes,
they're going
that's what
on
we
like
give.
They're going on like a spiritual journey thing.
All right, next. All right, I'll remember that.
Dude, those shrooms would be everyone's best friend.
They would. They absolutely would.
Except the paladin.
Yeah, well, who needs a paladin?
Exactly. Thank you.
We don't discriminate here, though. Clearly.
I 100% almost exclusively discriminate against paladins, but that's another topic.
Yikes.
Also, this is a no warlock zone.
First of all, no. Second of all,
No.
no. Third of all, you're off the show. Get out of here.
I literally am currently playing a warlock.
We don't want your kind here.
I'm playing 2 warlocks in 2 different campaigns.
How are you gonna slander my warlocks?
If you kick Erica out, would it just be called diving or would it just be called dungeon?
Just be dungeon.
Just be dungeon.
Because a podcast with just me is just eternal hell.
Hey, just because it's true doesn't mean you need to say it.
Wow. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Moving on.
It's your turn.
Yes. Are we still doing Awakenids?
Awakenids.
Well, I think you have this boy.
Yes,
Either
I
of
do. I
those.
do, and I'm glad I get to talk about them. So, for those of you who were keeping up with our Facebook, first of all, I love you. Second of all, you might have saw the hint of today's topic, that huge mold of moss that was holding a phone that had an Uber open on it.
What? Did you actually?
He did.
If you look at it, there's a phone and it has the Uber app opened up. Yes, I go hard than a pain. No.
This is why you get paid the big bucks, and by big bucks I mean $0. We don't pay you anything, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I get paid in hugs and to do dumb stuff on my own. That's called a shambling mound. So I'm just gonna read you I'm just gonna give you a brief synopsis of it because it's so much. The uses of it I feel are way cooler than the story of it. So basically, a shambling mound is kind of like a viney quasi zombie of the swamp in the rainforest.
Zombie
So
plant.
essentially, so whatever organic matter they come across, whether it be vegetable or animal, or also just beat up people, they gather it.
Oh my god, really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine getting beat by a plant that's got like a human arm in it?
That would be, I don't know if that's poetic justice or like
A bard's lute just comes flying at your face, wrapped in a bunch of vines.
I'd legit cry if that happened. Not because like an animal monster is eating me, but because I got hit with a human arm by a plant.
See, I'm imagining there was like a lumberjack going through the forest, and then it just got swallowed by this shambling
thing?
mound.
Oh,
yep.
yikes.
And now it goes around chopping down people with the axe from the lumberjack.
The shambling mound is essentially DC's Swamp Thing.
Mm.
Okay, but let's make this more terrifying. What if it ate like a organic monster and then took the abilities of said organic monster?
Ooh.
Like if it I don't know, ate like a mephit.
Stop!
But if it ate like a mephit and absorbed its elemental abilities.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Maybe it ate a gibbering mouth there and it like
Didn't
mumbles.
we talk about that with like a gibbering mouther eating other things and then it gained
Yeah.
other mouths? So
Okay.
is this just a plant mouther?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't necessarily like gain their abilities per se,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you can't texture it that way. Like
Yeah.
how I imagine like a cool way to utilize a shambling mound is because another cool thing about it is it's super proficient in stealth.
What's its intelligence?
Its intelligence actually, because I have that right here. You got to keep that thing on me. His intelligence is not that high. Never mind. Thought it was a lot higher than that.
What is it?
10.
Oh.
I mean, that's not bad. That's
No.
like perfectly
Yeah.
average.
But like what if as it like absorbed things, it absorbed their memories and their strengths, but also some of their weaknesses?
That's
So if it-
too dangerous.
If it absorbed like a bard, its charisma would go up to like 15 or something. And you just stare at the plant and go, "Ooh, pretty plant."
I do like that idea that like as the plant consumes more things,
it gets like smarter.
it attains those things. What you think about it, because it's like a zombie like plant,
Yeah.
it's going around. I say going around. It actually prey actually comes to it because of its high stealth.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't like search out for things.
Oh,
Things just
makes
come
sense.
to it.
Wow,
So
that's-
think of it as like a very terrible quicksand. Because you can use it as both like you could utilize that monster as both like a terrain and an actual creature.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You're like going through an area of vines and you're like, it's just a bunch of vines. And then you get eaten.
And
That's
then-
it. That's
and
the
then-
end of your character.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Scary. Very scary.
Where's the woodward?
And they're
Woodwalks
online.
aren't gonna protect you.
Sorry, they said not my business.
They were like, oh no. There's vines.
Uh-uh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, boo boo. Too bad for you.
Tragic.
But yeah, that's my man, Shobbling Mounds. And one of the things I also like with it, and since we're all tying it back to our little Boy Scout, is as a terrain, you could actually use it. I could imagine this because it's such a large creature. You could utilize it as a halfling's lair. So if you have a halfling evil character druid just chilling out, you could.
Gosh.
Oh wait, I'm just imagining that thing in Avatar: The Last Airbender where there's the waterbender that's inside the plant body.
Yeah, that's
and it's
that's
using
what I
like
imagine,
yeah.
too.
That would actually be way cooler. Yeah, let's do that.
Take over a giant plant thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Pull a vine and arm swings. It's like Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Sorry.
Yep, that's the song.
You got it.
I got
Anyway,
You killed it.
what time is it? Is it time to sell?
It is time to sell.
Sell me! I am your customer today.
Oh.
I've walked into your store. Excuse me. I'm looking for a very unique and creative monster. I have all the money in the world. Please let me pay your commission so that you can feed your family. Sell to me.
That was so drastic. So quick.
Well, ma'am.
Oh.
Howdy do.
Howdy do.
Does someone want to count?
Oh,
me in?
I will time you.
Alright, cool. We've got.
Oh, you have the timer.
Oh,
no,
wow.
you got rid of the timer.
I thought you were opening
I'll
up your
time
time.
you.
This is hell.
Okay, ready? 15 seconds on the clock. Brooks, you've watched our episodes. You know
I
how
have.
it runs.
Yep,
Correct.
and I already got mine stepped up.
All right.
Right here.
Okay, let's put your business ties on in 3. Are you ready?
Is this me? This is me.
yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Have you ever been living your life and decided, you know what I need less of? People. Well, this is the plant for you. It eats people. It is a Venus flytrap, but big, and it likes humans. It is called Mantrap.
I like your pitch. I'm very curious. I'm interested in your product, ma'am. Tell me more.
Sorry, that was just a lot. A lot of like little and then nothing, but then just more of it.
Can these things walk?
Very, very slowly.
Oh, so they're like starfish.
Yeah, it like crawls. It's like a very large Venus flytrap.
And Venus flytraps can't move.
With legs.
Oh, okay. Thank you for specifying.
It only moves like 5 feet per round or something like that, so you can basically outrun it. But it does the thing where it just looks like a tropical plant, and so when it's motionless, you just think it's a plant, and you don't realize it's gonna eat you, but then it does.
You know, they really need to make something that only looks real when it's actually moving, and then when it stands still, it doesn't look real.
That would be weird.
Yeah. Like a tree that only looks like a tree if it's blowing in the wind, but if it's not, then it looks like a hag.
Wow, that is frightening, and I hate it.
I don't like this.
Anyway,
all.
so your Venus flytrap, could it be a person?
No, it's pretty dumb.
Put a cute little suit on it, and then put giant googly eyes. Can it pass? Does it have a good enough intelligence?
You love this? Are you buying right now? Do you ever get nervous?
If you put a hat and a trench coat on it and it tried to walk into a movie theater.
These are the important questions. I will not buy your product otherwise.
It could certainly try.
This is my favorite episode of Shark Tank.
Grace asking the hard-hitting questions.
It's called real journalism right there.
Now how would you use it?
I personally would use it to murder my enemies and my friends.
Dang, I was hoping for world peace, but I'll settle for this.
And what are its strengths and weaknesses? What can you bring to the team?
It's not very strong.
Okay.
It doesn't do a lot of damage at once, but it's kind of beefy because it eats meat, so it's got like it's a beef boy.
I love beef
It's not a
boys.
soy boy. It's a beef
my
boy.
gosh.
It's got beef. Tell your boyfriend that I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not the most creative thing.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of like if you've ever watched Journey to the Center of the Earth, where they had like they were kind of just doing their thing, and then suddenly there was a flower behind them, and it tried to eat them. It's like that is what I'm imagining. So I think it would be really good as like a one-time thing to be like, what? If you're like going through the Feywild or something like that, you know, just suddenly this thing that you thought was a plant
What's its challenge rating?
eats you. Great question. 1.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have a very high to hit, and when it hits you, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is hard to kill just because it has so much HP.
I feel like these could be used in really like unique ways though, because you know Venus flytraps, their anatomy, they've got like these little spiky things in their mouth that
Chompers?
Yeah, well no, they're like these little sensors so that when something lands on them, they close and they eat it, right? So you could have like you could be fighting like a wood, right?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, and then these things kind of pop up out of nowhere, and you have to do like a charisma check or like a wisdom check, so you don't feel allured to like walk towards the sweet scent of like one of these Venus flytrap. What are they called?
It does
man traps. Ah, classic.
But it does have an ability where it can send out pollen to attract things to it.
Well, there you go.
It's not, again, it's a wisdom saving throw, and it's a really low like DC, so it's not hard to avoid. But against like low level characters, or if you have like a barbarian,
well, you could also have them grow like fruit that's
that.
really desirable. Yeah. So that when people like grab the fruit, then it kind of like, you know, eats them.
I think this is the kind of one.
Yes, Brooks.
I have a question. How well does it go up against fire?
Seems fine.
Well,
I think I like the idea of basically taking this basic concept and making different versions of it. So like you said, having one that has fruit, one that like sends out pollen, one that maybe has less HP but does a lot more damage, one that, you know,
actually has teeth
and like chomps you.
All the
puts
teeth.
on a trench coat.
Yeah. One that like spits out acid, so like instead of chewing you, it's like absorbing you as you're dissolving.
You could have like a piranha plant just made of like well, you don't know what piranha plant is from Mario.
Oh yeah,
piranha plant.
Yeah, but like in the Smash version, it's got little hands that's got mini piranha plants on it. So you could have a man trap with little man traps on it that like
baby man traps.
Try and grab
Boy traps.
Boy traps. Oh, druid boy, no!
You ruined him.
I did, but don't worry, I'll bring him back.
Okay. I am thoroughly convinced with your product. However, there's another salesman, so I'll do him the benefit of listening to his sales pitch. But I will count you in, sir. You have 15 seconds because I am an impatient woman.
No problem.
I got a family to feed.
I'm pretty sure I'm about to knock it out the park.
Ready? On go. 1, 2, 3, go.
2 words, Kel-P, but it's 1 word. So, so check it out. Have you ever been swimming in the ocean and you get super scared because some seaweed goes into your foot and it's super weird? Imagine that, but your fear is justified because it's
you're done. You're done.
Ugh.
It's 15 seconds.
It's a very short amount of time. You gotta get to the point.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say, I'm not completely convinced, but I'm going to need more information.
Yes, I'm gonna bring it in. So, a Kelpie is a kind of a water plant monster. This thing can change form into a hippocampus or like a seahorse or into a woman. It mainly lures men in to them. So you can find these in any type of ocean and it will swap them. It has a challenge rating of 1. However, it has innate spell casting. So you can cast Druidcraft. It knows telepathy and common, so it can speak with a constitution of 13, all right, and a dexterity of 11. this thing is a pretty on its own can honestly do a pretty good idea.
Here's my question. Does it mostly lure men in because it has a taste for man flesh, or is it because men are the easiest thing to trap?
Probably both.
Both, and that because it's chaotic evil.
Oh, but why not women? We stan a
What a sexist.
bi-pan individual.
Well, because it is actually mostly female. But hippocampus are actually mostly female.
Yeah, but why can't they eat women too?
Yeah.
I believe they don't want to.
I want equality, Brooks.
I'm sorry.
I need this. I need this man-eating Kelpie to be a woman-eating Kelpie.
I will
too.
apply for Wizards at the Coast and make a new Kelpie that only eats women.
And non-binary people.
And non-binary as well.
Basically, all I want to know is if I travel out into the ocean, will the sirens and the Kelpies also want me, or am I going to have to be sad and alone forever?
What if they want to romance you and not eat you, though?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The Kelpie's a changeling, so it's going to, if it thinks you're a hot babe, it'll transform into a hotter babe and swoon you. And you can have little Kelpie babies.
Half Kelpie.
Half Kelpie.
Half Kelpie race?
Yes.
100%.
A very strong, I would say, better version of a changeling. I have a huge bias against changelings, anyways, because it also has an innate changeling anyway, so it can change its form. Water breathing, low light. It's set to go. And it's honestly one of my favorite monsters.
Honestly, sounds legit.
Thank you. To the board, I'm offering 20% at 30 to Alton.
I only have 40,000. How much are you selling for?
Well, I have another option if you weren't convinced by the man trap.
Oh, tell me more. Do you need another 15 seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad we both had spares.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go.
So basically, what we have here is a type of fungus called a shrieker. And when you get within 30 feet of it, or when light appears, it screams. So it's me.
Why would I want to buy you?
Because I'm great.
No, I'm Grace.
I said me. Yeah, basically it's this fungus that does nothing except scream when things are around it. And I'm like, if that isn't a representation of my constant anxiety, what is?
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't buy it, but I like the concept.
But would you subject your friends and family to it?
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, I think it'd be really cool to have like an elf tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And they live like a drow elf tribe, so they live in the dark, right? Or like mostly in nighttime circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. And they basically like use these as their protection when they go out.
Like an alarm system.
Yeah. Which would be really cool. Like they probably would live in like pitch black, and like the travelers that go in have like lanterns and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as the lanterns hit the things, these funguses just scream.
Yeah.
I like that.
I really love this idea because, like, what a great alarm system.
It would honestly knock off a lot of checkboxes for me as far as alarm systems go.
Yeah.
You can also use them as hats?
Frisbees. Oh, never mind. Two separate ideologies here.
I'm confused about how either of these things would work.
Well, like, okay, so the way I'm seeing it, like, these drow elves could wear them as parts of their armor, too, so that if they need to go out, they can, like, protect themselves. Or, like, if there was, like, a big epic war and the drows had to fight in the sun because they were being forced to, like, leave their home, right, to fight for their land, they, like, wear these things so that when they go out in the sun, the people that they're fighting against are like, oh my god, my fucking ears, I have a headache, please make this stop.
Oh.
Yeah, so it, like, puts them at a disadvantage, you know what I mean?
The drow are, like, used to it or prepared because they've been training with it, but, like...
Or they have earplugs.
Or that.
You need to sell me as well.
I have 15 seconds, and I'm going to actually use only 15 seconds this time.
Okay, are you ready?
I was born smelly.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go!
Y'all know penicillin originally started from mold?
Yeah.
Well, let me sell you on something called mold creatures. That's right. They're known as veggie pygmy.
Veggie pygmy.
Mold creatures.
Okay.
That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
What do they have to do with penicillin?
Well, here's the thing. They're a creature. They're known as the mold folks. All their thing is that they're mold. They can use weapons. Their alignment is neutral. They're an actual plant monster, and they have dark vision. But the main thing about these people, which I'm trying to get through, is that we in D&D in our lifetime have mold creatures. I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil Biohazard, and you can essentially have the mold monsters in your campaign from that same video game.
Interesting.
They can dig. They have actual animals that are also mold people as well. It's an entire ecology of mold.
Mm-hmm.
They have mold currency.
Mm-hmm.
They have mold lifestyle. There's mold children.
There's like a whole just community of
mold people who are
moldies.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I just think that if your party were to capture one, under those ethics, think about eating shiitake mushrooms.
Oh, no.
You see where I'm getting
How
at?
could you?
You see where I'm getting at here?
So
Like,
yeah, if you eat this tiny person, it will work to help cure your disease. But you're also eating a tiny person.
you're eating a tiny person. Yes, I know a lot of my pitches have been let's eat people, but I'm saying
Brooks.
mold
Please.
and penicillin. Those are the only connections I have for this one. I'm good.
Okay.
So anyways,
I'll take it.
Yes. Eat it, Erica.
So hopefully you guys have heard about some creatures that you are interested in using at some point or another in your campaign, whether, your characters are traveling through a forest, through the Underdark, through the Feywild, under the sea, or, whatever.
I like
Yeah.
that one a lot. I'll give you a point.
Thank you. Under the sea.
No. Anyway,
The seaweed, the kelpies are always greener.
I think that's where we're going to end today. Unless there's more.
I have a quick comment just about things that I wish existed.
Do I really want you to say more?
Yes. Grandmother Willow. More types of fungus monsters. More types of plant monsters. More types of underwater plant monsters specifically. That's it.
Also,
Fire plant
apple
monster.
monsters. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Apple monsters?
That would be really good.
Apple
I love
monsters.
that.
I don't know if you played the new Pokemon, but there's a dragon that's an apple, and the apple is the wings, and then the middle, like the core of it, is like its body, and then the head of it is like a worm that's popping out of said apple, and it just flies around. And it's got this special, unique ability that no other character has, called like Grav Apple, where in the game it summons a giant apple from a very tall tree and drops it on someone's head. And that is Flapple.
I love it. That's the kind
Add
of
it to the campaign.
quality content I need to see in
It can
D&D.
either do that or turn into an apple pie dragon. So
There you go. Those are the only things you need in life.
yep, okay.
I need nothing else.
On that note, thank you for listening to this episode of Dungeon Diving.
And thank you, Brooks, for joining us on our very special episode.
This has been amazing. Thank y'all for having me. Again, y'all check out the Facebook page. Erica and Grace are doing some amazing things on there.
And Brooks.
Thank you. It's mostly Brooks. I just comment. That's
Amazing things.
great.
But your comments are quality.
Thanks, guys. And that'll conclude our episode today. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Yes. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.